Hey everyone, Robert here, author of Expansion Mastery, the practical guide to living a fully engaged life. Are you ready to start living your life to the fullest? Are you ready and willing to transform yourself and your life from ordinary to extraordinary? Well, welcome, my friends, to the Fully Engaged Life. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I hope you are enjoying this festive holiday season wherever you are. Today I'm going to bring you something very interesting, something that I don't feel gets addressed very much, and you may have a different perspective, and that's perfectly fine. But what I'm going to share with you, I really encourage you to give some serious consideration to. And if possible, make sure that you are incorporating into your practices. This is what unleashes our power as human beings. This is what unleashes our power to attract, to co-create, to perform, and to accomplish. Are you ready to dive in with me? Let's do this. A significant point of all spiritual practices is to become far more, one could even say fully, conscious of our thoughts, our words, and our actions. To make sure these three things, these aspects of ourselves, are wholesome and producing positive vibratory frequencies. In order to do this, we employ the service of various meditative practices to assist us on this quest. We absolutely need these types of specific practices to help us properly and safely address these typical issues of the ordinary human mind and what we face because of it. For many, the mind is doing one thing, and the body is doing another. We can see the truth of this through many perspectives. One is how people are walking as though they're asleep, going through life in this autopilot mode, with their mind thinking about one thing while their body is engaged in some other form of activity. Multitasking encourages and strengthens this sense of disconnection between the mind and body. And while multitasking may be necessary from time to time, it is not a good habit to get into. Today, in addition, we also see a massive disconnection between the mind and body due to tech. As people become increasingly absorbed in the virtual world, they unplug from the physical world around them, from the reality in which we engage this physical and mental life. And in so doing, they end up neglecting their body. This is observed through the incredible amount of obesity, as well as physical ailments that cause suffering for so many. If you observe closely, either yourself or others, it is not difficult to observe in just about any moment how a person's thoughts are doing one thing, their words are saying something else, and their actions are doing something completely different. Whenever we are in a state when our mind and our body is not unified, it's not acting in harmony with one another, not acting out of the same sense of focus, This is a state of mindlessness. Whenever our mind is distracted, thinking of something else while we're doing something physically, we are in a state of mindlessness. I'm aware that people are beginning to have an increasing problem with speaking. They begin to talk about one thing and then their mind trails off into some other thought stream. And they're struggling with this to keep this type of mental focus between what they are thinking and what they are saying, as well as thinking one thing or even saying something, talking about a certain subject while you are doing something completely different. This shows the disharmony between one's thoughts, words, and actions. Typically, the ordinary mind is unaware of its thoughts and all of the activity that takes place in the subconscious mind. So much of it is unconscious to the person. The ordinary mind speaks from this sense of unconsciousness. The ordinary mind then acts quite mindlessly. The practices teach us to become mindful, and then we become far more conscious of everything we think, everything we say, and everything we do. This results in mindfulness. Mindfulness gives us a certain quality to our mind, a particular state of mind, perhaps, that opens the door to becoming more conscious of our thoughts, words, and actions. When we attain mindfulness, when we have a sense of control, of consciousness for our thoughts, our words, and our actions, this aspect of spirituality alone is extraordinarily life-changing. For many, this can be an amazing achievement, the achievement of a lifetime. And it may take an entire lifetime in itself to attain. And this alone is an incredible accomplishment and a lifetime well spent. But what if I told you it goes further? What if I told you that you can refine this to an even greater degree? Once we have become conscious of our thoughts, our words, and our actions, and through meditative practices, we have made certain corrections to the processes in order to eliminate some of the negativity and be able to perform more consciously, more positively, with a higher vibration. Then we have brought our thoughts, words, and actions into harmony with one another. And we begin to live from this space. And it seems focused because we think, and that thought has the same focus as what we say, and that has the same focus as what we do. And this in itself is very, very powerful. Perhaps consider it through this perspective. How many people, maybe yourself included, or people that you know, think about all kinds of things they'd like to do? A lot of people take it to the next step and they talk about all the things they want to do. But how many of those people truly follow through and take that action? It has been my experience that a lot of people like to think about these things, fantasize about them, but it goes no further. Others bring it about into speech, and they like to talk about all of these types of things to people. And through talking so much about it, the energy to do it actually fizzles out. Very few people seem to actually follow through, and this too shows the disconnect between the things that they are thinking, saying, and doing. Therefore, These things may happen in their head, but not in reality. This results in delusion. So once we learn how to better harmonize our thoughts, our words, and our actions, we can expand on this even further. The practices that we engage in are about bringing us as a human being into harmony, to become a whole, fully actualized human being. If you have attained mindfulness and you have succeeded in bringing in your thoughts, your words, and actions to a sense of harmony, then we can go deeper. With this, we are going to bring into harmony our mind, body, spirit, intention, breath, and energy. And if that sounds a bit overwhelming, don't worry. If you have mindfulness, if you have brought into harmony your thoughts, your words, and your actions, you have the foundation necessary to easily begin to bring the rest of yourself into harmony. Once you do, you will become capable of harnessing their power, your power, the power of a human being. These factors must not only be brought into balance, but unified in all we do. Much is talked about in regards to attraction, and it is associated primarily only with emotions and the vibrational quality that you may be experiencing through those emotions. However, if we take that further and we refine ourselves so that our mind, body, spirit, intention, breath, and energy all focus on the same thing, we are in a hyper state of incredible vibration that allows us to far, far better co-create the reality we desire. Indeed, this will give us a sense of power that far exceeds anything we have to accomplish anything we're doing in life right now. There are a great many practices that are designed to take us this far. I present some of these to my students in martial arts, as well as those who are studying spirituality and mind science, and the results are quite astounding. So allow me to break down for you what I am referring to in regards to each one of these points. Each one of these things is an aspect of the human being. And what we want to do is bring each one into focus and then harmonize it with the others. We must begin with the mind. Everything starts here. This is one of the things I mean by everything starts with within. We have to make the corrections within our own mind before we can ever have that emanate outward. So here, the mind is referring to our thoughts and how we are consciously aware of things, such as thoughts, emotions, physical sensations, and so much more. Through becoming aware of our thoughts, emotions, sensations, and so on, we begin to increase our connection to consciousness. And this makes for a strong, healthy mind. And this is why mindfulness needs to be attained first. Everything arises from the skill of mindfulness. It is a sense of mindfulness that allows us to begin to become consciously aware of our thoughts, our words, and our deeds. So we are performing everything mindfully and together. This is the idea of the mind. Once we have established this, then we coordinate it, bring it into harmony with the body. Here, the body is referring to, obviously, our physicality and how our body functions. Our body needs to be healthy, strong, flexible, and as pain-free as possible. This just makes for a great life, but it also allows us to do certain physical practices. And many of the mind practices utilize certain aspects of our physicality. So having a body that is capable of performing them is incredibly necessary. When our mind and body act in harmony, we attain a sense of conscious movement and health that has a quality to it. Our movement becomes elegant and sophisticated and easy. Everyone has heard the phrase that the body and what is happening to the body is a reflection of the mind. See, they are meant to be in harmony with each other. If we look at how society functions and how we live, we can see a tremendous difference in the way that the mind and body are being separated. Not that long ago, 30 years, 40 years, especially 50 years or more, this was not the case. But as we supposedly progress, we become more civilized, I suppose, this disconnection takes place. And we don't live through our mind and body as much anymore. We just live through the mind. This is a good way for human beings to go extinct. So this is a way you can observe someone who has their mind and body brought into harmony with one another, because you will see it in the way they move. They kind of flow. They walk with purpose, with balance, with poise, with elegance. And when properly unified through specific practices, you attain what is called the body-mind. The body-mind, all one word, is when the intelligence of the mind ignites the intelligence in the cells of the body. This is truly when the mind and body have been brought into harmony. And then we have spirit. Now, there are many, many definitions for spirit, so people can apply whatever definition they like. I would like to give you something to consider here. In this case, possibly, it refers to our sense of aliveness, that non-physical part of ourselves that governs our character, our spirituality, and actually animates us. Our spirit needs to be strengthened as well and brought into harmony with the mind and body. This is why we hear that phrase so often, mind, body, spirit. It's not meant to be just a buzz phrase. It's meant to be taken seriously. It's a map of sorts. So, strengthening the spirit is something that is done very well through anything that includes discipline, such as martial arts or dance or whatever physical activity that requires mental focus and physical movement and some sort of drive and discipline. This can be used to help us strengthen our spirit. And then ultimately, that spirit will be in harmony with our mind and body. The way these three things interact with one another is absolutely astounding. And once you attain this level of harmony, you will see for yourself how these three aspects of our being are absolutely critical to being an actual human being in the physical sense of the word as well as the non-physical sense of the word. Next, we have intention. Now, oftentimes people use the mind and intention as the same thing. This is fine. However, we do see in practices that teach us we must specifically bring into harmony the mind and the intention. So this does indicate that they are different, especially in the context in which we are addressing it here. This refers to the purpose behind our thoughts, which is then responsible for sparking the action we take with the body. This is far more powerful than often believed and overlooked. Intention plays a major role in our spirituality, in our ability to learn martial arts, and just about anything else we desire to accomplish in life. We need the strong, powerful, focused intention to do so. We need to bring our mind and our intention into harmony with one another and then make sure that our intention is in alignment with every other aspect of ourselves. And there are specific practices that help us to engage and strengthen our intention. And then we have the breath. To me, this is one of the most important and overlooked aspects of all of these things we're covering. Our breathing needs to be conscious. It needs to be healthy. It needs to be coordinated with all of the other aspects of ourselves. Our breath needs to then be brought into harmony with our conscious awareness, which is the mind, our physical body and its movement, our spirit and intention. The breath is of vital importance. I look at it this way. The intention is to the mind what the breath is to the body. The breath unlocks a great many hidden treasures. Last but certainly not least is our energy. One might even liken this to associate with the spirit. So the energy or chi could be to the spirit what the breath is to the body and what the intention is to the mind. Our energy needs to be coordinated with all aspects of ourselves. When our mind, intention, physical movement, and breathing and spirit, when those things are all in harmony, our energy flows easily and allows us to animate every aspect of our being. And this energy has to do with our sense of vitality and possibly longevity. In many internal practices, such as Qigong and Tai Chi and various forms of breathing and meditation, we hear various statements such as, where the intention goes, the Qi flows. We also hear it as, where the breath goes, the Qi flows. I've heard it with the blood as well. This shows the unification of these things. So think about it. If we have everything, our mind, body, spirit, intention, breath, and energy, all in focus, all in harmony, all in a sense of conscious awareness and unified, we have truly brought our sense of being into an incredible state of harmony. And it is here in this state, in this harmonious state, that we truly get to experience the power of a human being. When all of these aspects of a human being have been brought into harmony, we unleash the extraordinary power of what it is to be human, and we unlock our ability to live a fully engaged life. This may offer you a little better way to focus on practices and to tell which practices are real, that have authenticity to them, and which ones are just fluff, just toys to play with. When all of these aspects of ourselves are brought into harmony, it is from here that we become able to be better human beings in every single manner. It's easier to live a fully engaged life when you have become a fully actualized human being. Please remember to visit me at www.expansionmastery.com. Check out everything there and make sure that you're helping us out on social media. All of the subscribes, shares, likes, and all of that other stuff you do on social media helps us out greatly. And we appreciate every single one of you and every effort you make. Thank you so much for your continued support. Until next time, my friends, I wish you the very best in this holiday season, as well as your practices and your life. Take care.